Welcome to being the researcher. Have you ever felt that you keep on making the same mistakes over and over and over? And to be honest, I'm sure that you know people who are living in Groundhog Day. They keep on having the same relationship issues, the same job complaints, or the same failed diets, or the same reason things fail. I have found that when it comes to learning and growing, a crucial step that I have learnt from my coach is to evaluate. Success doesn't happen because you know the steps you'll take will work. Success comes from when you know that each time, each action you take, each action you make, you will learn what works and what doesn't. Evaluating is a researching tool, and I have used it for anything and everything. Evaluating is available to you for everything from your day-to-day, like going out for lunch. What did I buy for lunch? Did that work for me or not? You can evaluate anything you want to improve. Evaluating is about gathering information and data. It's a way of looking at situations from an aerial perspective, from a place of logic. You can evaluate a special event. You can evaluate a job application. You can evaluate a goal. You can evaluate a plan. You can evaluate your results. You can evaluate at the end of a week. You can evaluate at the end of the month. You can evaluate anything. Using the evaluation worksheet, instructions start with what went well. What worked? What worked well? What went well? What went right? What thoughts were good thoughts? What outcomes did you create that you wanted to? Write them all down. For example, I set my goal. I used the training video and created the next steps. I believed I could achieve my goal. I had coaching to find out where I wasn't believing and worked on my limiting belief. I tweaked and assessed after 3 days, found the next small step. List all of the things that went well. Always start with what went well. Our brains like to argue because their default when we start assessing something is to go with what didn't work. But with this process, you must force yourself to stretch. At first, it might be more of a stretch, but always stretch into what went well. Persevere and make sure you start here. So the next step is what didn't work. So what did not go right? What thoughts were you having that did not serve you? What did you allow that hindered you? For example, I arrived late. I forgot to remember my goal. Our brains work like that. I didn't set my focus or find my why. I gave up after 3 days when it didn't work. I judged myself for failing. List all of the things that didn't go well, exactly as you remember them, as judgment-free as possible. Because remember, this is for evaluation, this is for data collecting, there's no room for judgment. Think about this process as the fundamentals. It's not about you as a human, it's about the activity and what happened. So, and finally is the third step. What to do differently. What will I do differently? Based on the above, what we've learned, this is where we learn from, what will you do differently next time, or if you have a do-over? These responses will formulate your GPS directions. Address each of the items in the what didn't work and list all of the things that you can think of that you would do differently. You might only be able to do one of them differently, but repetition builds success, it builds awareness, it builds growth and change. List all of the beliefs that you want to work on. For example, I will set my alarm earlier to be sure I'm there on time. I will get clear on my focus and my why. I will set reminders about my goal. I will plan ahead and check in with my coach after 3 days. I will understand judgment comes up and I don't have to listen. This exercise is an investment in your future. It will save you time in the future. Your future self will thank you for it. Depending on what you are evaluating, you may need a lot of additional space from what I've supplied in the worksheet. Just turn it over. But either way, evaluate anything that makes you feel anything you don't want to feel. That's the short way to know. It's like, does this make me feel good, what just happened? If not, let's figure out what went well, what didn't go well, and what will I do differently. And always remember, if you need any help, I'm here for you. Okay, bonne chance with evaluations. Mwah!